Thank you for joining me today. My name is Heidi McIndoe. I am a registered dietitian, and today we are taking a little bit of a spin with some Greek food. So I'm sort of putting a spin on the traditional Greek gyro that's made with lamb, and we're going to be making it with turkey to just get a little bit less fat, less saturated fat primarily. But also this makes a great sort of throw together lunch. It's going to take me about 15-20 minutes to make it. Would not take you much longer, but the cool thing about this recipe, you can do, there's like two main parts. You can do ahead of time, pop them in the fridge, and then just put them together when you're ready to eat them. So really convenient for fast and easy lunches. This would pack well. Again, you keep the two main parts separate. If you're going into work, this would be a great bring to work kind of thing. Please, I have the chat open. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, comments, whatever. We can definitely have time at the end for questions as well, but I am happy that, to answer them as we go. If you're like me and you don't want to forget your question or your comment, just pop them in. Don't use the Q&A though. I don't have that, only the chat. So like I said, we're making some Greek-ish gyros. There will be turkey. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get our turkey going. I already have my pan heated up. I'm going to have to keep going a little up and down. So my pan is right here. It's got about a teaspoon and a half of olive oil. And I'm going to start with, so just so you know, I'm cutting the recipe in half, what I'm doing today, but the amounts I'm going to tell you are for the full recipe. And also Andrea will put her email in the chat. And if you would like this recipe, all you do is shoot her a quick email and she will send it off to you. So the recipe, what we want to start with is about a half a pound of either turkey cutlets or turkey tenderloin, whatever your store sells. Oddly enough, what my store calls them is turkey breast steaks. So if you see that, that works too. Never heard of that before. So like I said, we want about a half a pound of these turkey breast steaks. And the first thing we're going to do, I want you guys to see what I'm doing here. First thing we're going to do is just cut them into strips. We're basically creating turkey fingers. We've all heard of chicken fingers. We're making turkey fingers. I just don't like this one part here that's a bit tough, so I sort of get rid of that and just make some strips. Now what we are going to do with this, we are basically going to saute these chicken strips or turkey strips, sorry, in our pan. But first we're going to season them with a salt-free Greek seasoning. You need about 1.5 teaspoons of the salt-free Greek seasoning. Now, I will tell you, when I went to the store, I could not find any Greek seasoning at all, salt-free or salt-full. So what I did is I made my own, and it's really easy to make your own Greek seasoning. You're basically going to start with, hold on, you're going to start with about 1.5 teaspoons of dried oregano. All of them are going to be dried. So 1.5 teaspoons of oregano, 1 teaspoon of basil, thyme and mint. Personally, I don't like mint in my cooking. I know it's a very common Greek seasoning. I left it out. So the bonus of cooking for yourself at home, leave out what you don't like. So anyways, 1.5 teaspoons of oregano, teaspoon of mint, teaspoon of thyme, 1/2 teaspoon of dried basil, 1/2 teaspoon of marjoram, 1/2 teaspoon of minced onion, and 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder or minced garlic. I don't tend to use this onion and garlic salt just because we don't need that extra salt. I always use the powders. So we've got our chicken, turkey. Sorry, you could use chicken if you can't find turkey. And we're going to take our seasonings and we're just going to sprinkle it up. When you're cooking, one of the fun things is that you can add flavor in so many layers. So this is our first layer of flavor, and I'm going to pop these seasoned side down in my hot pan. And just like you do with turkey or with chicken, I'm gonna call them the wrong thing all day long. Give them a minute to sort of start cooking before you mess around with moving them. So that's how you pair them. And I will show you what's going on in the pan in 1 second. But now we're going to take the rest of this seasoning and just sort of sprinkle what's on top. Now, if you make that blend that I just told you, you're going to end up with about 2 tablespoons of Greek seasoning. So you'll have it for other recipes, for making this at other times, whatever you like to do. All right, so all we've got going on over here is our turkey is getting nice and brown. We're going to let that do its thing while we prepare our sauce for our gyros. So if you've ever had, if you eat a lot of Greek food, make gyros, tzatziki is the sauce that you need. Anybody like tzatziki? Anybody had tzatziki? Anybody make tzatziki? It's a very, very simple sauce, for lack of a better word, that is made with Greek yogurt, so we don't even have to alter any ingredients there. It's basically Greek yogurt, garlic, and dill, I guess I would say. And to make this, now the cool thing about this is it's delicious on these gyros, but it's also really good with grilled chicken, like at dinner, just to dip your chicken in. I love it with wheat thin crackers as a dip. I don't know why wheat thins, but the way I like it. And it's super easy to make. So the recipe calls for about 2/3 of a cup of plain, on couscous, I'll try that. Plain non-fat Greek yogurt. And if you're not somebody who eats a lot of plain non-fat Greek yogurt and you don't want to buy the big tub, just one of these little cups is the perfect size for this recipe. So all you need is to get one of these guys. Personally, like I love Greek yogurt, but I can't eat I shouldn't say that. I like the plain stuff in smoothies, and I will eat it with my Mexican food in place of sour cream, but I just don't, I'm not eating that out of the cup. So I'm not buying a big tub of it, but this is a great way to use it. And the thing is, with tzatziki, the worst thing about tzatziki is runny tzatziki. We don't want it runny. So we want to get the extra fluid out of our yogurt. That way that, when you open the yogurt container, sometimes you stir that liquid in. Maybe you dump it out. It's just a way. It's just some of the protein from the milk. But what I did here is I just dumped that container of yogurt on the strainer, and I put it in there. You can't even see there's hardly any in there. I put it in the refrigerator. I just did that this morning. So it was in there for a couple hours, I'd say, just so that my yogurt is now just extra thick. So that is step one. And we're going to take our thickened yogurt now and pop it in a bowl. And get rid of this. All right. Now the next thing, I also have one other major ingredient is cucumber in tzatziki. So you're going to want a medium cucumber, and we're going to cut it in half. Okay, and I'm going to, first thing we're going to do is peel it. Now cucumbers are also very, very liquidy. That's one of the, normally that's a bonus for cucumbers. It's a great way to get some extra liquid in your day. It's a watery vegetable, but we don't want that water in our tzatziki. So what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to cut it in half. Remember, you guys are starting with a full cucumber, peeling it, cutting it in half, and then you are going to grate it, okay? Woo! Cucumber on the run. So we're just going to grate it just like that to make little bits of it. I am going to flip my turkey because it is browning up nicely. Actually, show you guys what that looks like here. So nice and golden brown turkey. And now back to our grating. Okay, so we're just going to grate all of this cucumber because we want that flavor. We want a little bit of that crunch, but we really don't necessarily want big pieces. If you prefer big pieces, then go ahead and chop this, and that's fine. One of the reasons I like to grate it, and I'll show you in a minute, just trying to not get my fingers in it. Okay, so we get all that there. Now what we can do, now you can use a thin dish towel. I'm just using a paper towel. We are going to, I'm going to turn you guys over a bit. We're going to squeeze it and get all that extra liquid out. That's what's going to make our tzatziki watery. We don't want that. All right, so now we have basically this ball of dried up cucumber. So we're going to put that in there. We also want to add a little bit of garlic. So we have a garlic clove. And you can chop your garlic, you can press your garlic. I personally like to microplane my garlic. I just sort of, and you can see it all getting down there. It's going to be nice and fine. I just find it mixes better. And you're not biting into a big hunk. Oops, that big hunk that just fell. All right, and now what we can do is we just scrape all that basically garlic puree off. And two more simple ingredients. Dill, staple seasoning here. We want 2 teaspoons of dill. Oh yeah, that worked super well with the paper towel. Yeah, that was awesome. I skipped the garlic, no problem. Yeah, again, the benefits of cooking for yourself, you skip what you either don't like or can't eat, but you still get all that yummy flavor. Will it taste different? A little bit, but not the end of the world. And we need some lemon juice. So I've been rolling this lemon around. You could always, if you can't do the garlic, a little something different, you could try putting a little bit of minced onion in there if you wanted. Just for something. All right, so squeezing. I will say, I do like squeezing real lemons. And I don't know why I bought this Gigunda lemon. I usually buy the little ones because they're easier to squeeze. For some reason, I bought the Gigunda one this time. But you know what? Lemons last for a long time in the refrigerator. I'm turning my burner off now because our turkey is done. Lemons last for a while in the refrigerator. So, I just say, I would just rather have a lemon or 2 in there. When I need it, give it a squeeze, and I'm good to go. Now we want 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. And now we are almost done here, okay? So all we're doing is we're going to mix all that stuff up. Oh, I think I didn't measure my half amount of yogurt well enough. This could have used a little bit more yogurt, but oh well. So that's basically our tzatziki. So we're going to set that aside and get to making our sandwich. So remember, I saved half my cucumber. I'm thinly slicing it. You could thickly slice it, but when it comes to things like this, I just like them thinner. It spreads the flavor around better. You'll see when I go to layer it all. There we go. And we're going to get some thinly sliced tomato. Any questions while I'm just slicing here? All right, we'll get one more bit of tomato. All right, so there's our topping. So now we're going to get our plate. We're going to start with a whole wheat pita. I will tell you, I almost got they had whole grain tortillas. pitas, sorry. But when I compared them nutritionally, the whole wheat one had 1 gram more fiber. So I figured out, I'll get that one. I also saw mini pitas that were super cute, but I thought I would just do this. So all we do, we put our pita on our plate. Then we just start layering. Okay, so we're going to spread that cucumber everywhere. Okay, now we're going to take that tomato, do the same thing. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I also shredded up some lettuce. Lettuce is one of those things, and you can use romaine, iceberg, mixed greens, whatever you really prefer, because again, we're making this for ourselves. I did chop this up myself, but those bags of pre-shredded lettuce, that's one of those great time savers that if you're trying to eat more vegetables and you're trying to eat healthier and cook quickly, those bagged up lettuces are a really great time saver. All right, so now we are going to get, yes, those mini pitas. So the mini pitas are great for lunches with hummus. Yeah. Oh, and have you seen, so when I say mini, I mean like this size. They still made mini sandwiches, but have you seen the itty bitty ones that are like this size? I love those for snack. Yes, so that's what she's talking about. Those are awesome. I love those. All right, so we're just going to take some of our turkey here. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. With all those spices on there. So again, this could be done with chicken if you can't find the turkey. Ah, perfect. Now, where did our tzatziki go? All right, so now we're gonna get our tzatziki. Mix that around, make sure I get it. Now, it's not, it doesn't really drizzle. Would be good with anything, steak or pork. Oh yeah, this stuff's awesome. Oh, you mean yes, this, you could totally do this with pork. I could see, thinly sliced pork chops cooked the same way, some thinly sliced steaks. I mean, heck, I guess you could even cook up some soy crumbles with some of the Greek seasoning if you're trying to keep it meat free. Again, the idea is just we're getting the Greek flavors, but you can alter things however you want. So I'm just, like I said, it's not a drizzly kind of dressing. It's not even a spready kind of dressing, but I do the best I can. All right, and one of my favorite parts, feta cheese. The thing with feta is very, very, here, I'll let you guys see me again, very, very flavorful. So you can easily use a small amount and really get that flavor. And that's the thing with cheese. Like, cheese isn't bad if you don't eat huge quantities, but it's very easy to eat huge quantities. But if you're using these stronger flavored cheeses and you add them right at the end, you really get a lot of that good flavor with just a little bit of the cheese. So I'm probably just, it's not even a teaspoon here. Okay, fell off. And there we go. Hold on. There is our, do it this way, our yummy turkey gyro. So like I said, you could easily, so this could be a knife and fork kind of meal, or this could be a messy taco kind of meal, whatever you're thinking works best for you. But you see what I mean? So we've already talked about different things you could do. Yeah, oh, feta cheese is so good. We can alter the types of green we're using. We could use different kinds of meat. We can alter the seasoning the way we like it. We can mix and match some spices in there. You could make the turkey ahead, make the tzatziki ahead, and bring them all together when you're ready to eat. And now you know what I'm thinking? Thinking back of those mini pitas. Imagine if we took our tzatziki and we chopped up the turkey into little bite-sized pieces, mixed it with some lettuce and the tzatziki, and then it would be like a dip you could scoop those little mini pitas into. So lots and lots of ways to make this work. Do you guys have any questions or any other comments? I'm happy to hang out here. Like I said, it was a pretty quick and easy recipe. The only thing I really did before you guys came on was I had my oil heating up a little bit for the turkey so I could get that going right away. But other than that, you know, I did it all here. I mean, I cut everything. I even squeezed my lemon. Oh, and I did make, just because I didn't have Greek seasoning, I did make that ahead of time. But that, you know, took just a couple minutes to mix up. But that's basically it. An alternate to pita, I am gluten-free. So yeah, I mean, different, if you could find, I mean, honestly, you could use some gluten-free bread. It's basically just a vehicle to put the food on. But if you know of any, you know what I've not done before. I don't know if you've ever tried making like tortillas or pitas with a gluten-free flour, if you're much of a baker. I've heard that pitas and tortillas are pretty easy to make. So you could try experimenting them with a gluten-free flour, experimenting with them. Or the other option, like I said, oh, you know what might be good is if you had some gluten-free like English muffins. You could, it'll just be sturdier than bread. You could then top the English muffins with all this stuff, like make 2 of them. So that would be a good option too. What are some of the benefits of the Mediterranean diet? So the Mediterranean diet is filled, its staples are, you know, olive oil, olives, fruits and vegetables, and, you know, fresh seafood. So we're talking lots of healthy omega-3 fatty acids that are very beneficial to heart health, to digestive health, to brain health, loaded in fiber because of those fruits and vegetables. Beans also very, very big. So lots of fiber, great plant-based protein are beans, also loaded in, like I said, fiber and the protein. So it's just, it's beneficial to heart health, to brain health, digestive health, just because, and then we've got the whole Greek yogurt aspect, and yogurt itself is beneficial to digestive health. So, and it serves as a great probiotic or a probiotic, sorry. Oh, somebody suggested chop everything up and serve it as a lettuce wrap. That's a great idea. So don't put the lettuce here, use a lettuce wrap and fill everything in it, or just, you know, chop it up. So that's a great alternative to the pita. So thank you. But yeah, that's, let's see what, I mean, and like I said, I already said you could serve the tzatziki is really good with crackers or veggies as a dip. It's a great lunch, afternoon snack. I mean, some carrots, baby carrots in the tzatziki. But yeah, that's about it. So I thank you guys for joining me. Any other questions or comments? Happy to stay on. All I'm doing now is cleaning up. And remember, if you came on late, Andrea is putting her email in the chat to go ahead and get the recipe if you didn't get that before. And other than that, we're good. There it is. She just put it in there. All right, everybody. Doesn't seem like there's any questions. So thank you. Thank you for tuning in. And I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon.